So exchange of the thrust, okay? It doesn't matter if the person's coming with a thrust at you or if they're coming with a fendente. You want to exchange the thrust on them. This is in the Getty manuscript. It's in the middle of Joko Largo place, okay? So there's different things you need to know about exchanging the thrust. So first of all, put your point online for me, okay? The first thing you want to do is gain the other person's weapon, okay? This actually comes from rapier plays, okay? So what you want to do is there's 3 advantages to gaining the person's weapon. The first one is going over their weapon, okay? So just allow me to do it, you just have it in the fendente line. So I'm going to go past your weapon a little bit and camp my wrist. Just locking my wrist. What that does is it locks your wrist bones with your forearm, okay? And it also causes my sword to go over yours a little bit. You see how my blade's going over yours a little bit? That's the first advantage, is crossing over your weapon. The second is of edge. So if I turn my edge just a little bit to where most of my edge is on your flat, okay? Because my edge is more supported than your flat. You have nothing in the flat. I've got all edge. And the third is going to be leverage. So my tuta spada to your mezza or your double A area, okay? Those 3 things combined will gain your weapon, and there's nothing you can do about it, okay? The second aspect, put it right back online, is footwork. Fiore calls this part of the footwork the fora di strada, okay? So if we're both online, nobody has advantage. But if I was to take my left foot and move it over just a little bit, okay, my point stays on line, yours is past me. So if you were to continue with your thrust, go ahead, I don't have to do anything else, right? But to complete the play, it would be, I do those advantages while going down into posta breve, right? So now I've got 2. I got the edge and I got the crossing, right? So now to finish this, before you can thrust at me, but I'm keeping my point online, is I'm going to thrust at you and I'm going to complete that, okay? So nice and smooth, go ahead and put your weapon down into the boar's tooth, okay? That's Porto Ferro in the boar's tooth. So it can be like this. It's like your left foot back. There you go. Weapon on this side. Okay. Not bad. So your pommel goes here. Okay. Okay, no problem. So you're here on the boar's tooth, and you're just going to pop up with a thrust at me. Okay, from here. Okay. Exactly. Do it one more time. Okay. So now I'll show you what the exchange looks like. Go ahead and step back. Okay. I'm going to just begin in Porta di Ferro, just as an example. Okay. I'm going to move into posta breve with a short position on my left side while pulling my left foot out off the line. Okay, go ahead. So all I did so far was pull into posta breve. I didn't even do all the edge and everything I needed to yet, but I'm going to do this in one fluid motion, of course. Move into posta breve. I'm going to gain that edge. I'm going to camp my wrist as I'm coming in. I'm going to gain your weapon into my keons and lock it in there. So I'm going to collect your weapon, because this is a collection. Okay, I'm going to collect it into your keons and I'm going to stab you. Okay, so one more time, nice and smooth. I'll even do it from here. You can do it from a different position if you like. Any position you like can be in, whatever you feel comfortable stabbing at me from. Okay, so go ahead. So that's what it's going to look like. Okay, so let's give it a shot for you now. Okay, so now I'm going to begin. I'll just do it from posta breve. Okay, you begin in Porta di Ferro or Iron Gate. There you go. Okay, so now just go into posta breve from here. Just move into the short position. So you can move here, right, into here, keeping the point on line. That's all you're gonna do. Okay, so you're here in Porta di Ferro with the pommel in the center of your body. Move your left foot out and your pommel on your left hip with the point on my face. Okay? Yep, just like that. Okay? That's going to be the first point. That's what we're going to go to right now. Okay? Ready? Good. Now, stop and notice how you got your edge on mine. Okay? Your point is, so if I was to keep on coming, I'm going to get hit. Okay? So now, when you do that, then you get a crest way forward. You don't need to take a full Well, you're going to be here, yeah, and then take a step forward. That's the forward distrata part. And just make sure that you catch your wrist. You have that edge and the crossing in order to gain the weapon. Ready to try it out?
Right.
Good. And that's exchange of the thrust.
Thank you.
So the next technique is going to be a collection in posta finestra, or the window position. Okay, so first let's get into the window position. Okay, so begin in porta de ferro. Okay, nice and relaxed, point almost on the ground. Okay, now you can either take a step forward or take a step back. Take a step back. Preferably take a step back if you're going to defend yourself. That buys you some time when someone's coming with a fast fendente from posta di donna. Okay, so for instance, go ahead and go and posta finestra from here. So take a step backward, move up into posta finestra. This one you're going to want to cross your body. So right now it's on line. Okay, you want to cross it. That way, if I'm coming with that, bam, I collect, it's going to hit you. Okay, because if you have it on line, I'm going to just get them right past it. Okay, so again, let's do it from porta de ferro. Take a step backward to defend yourself. Okay, this is what also known as a cover. Okay, you're going to cover yourself because it's real simple to get into. Okay, so now let me just try it at you. Go ahead and get into porta de ferro. I'm going to get into posta di donna, and you just protect your head. Okay, ready? Good. That's a little high, but that's fine. Generally, posta finestra is going to be about right here. Just looking under, just above your forehead. Okay, generally. Now, in order to turn this into a collection, you're going to just allow the weapon to move into your keons. Now, we're using fetter swords, so it's not that easy to do, but with a regular long sword, it's going to make it much easier. So just go ahead and get in posta di donna for me. There you go, okay? Now, I'm going to be here. Go ahead and come at me. I'm collecting, okay? So go ahead and come down, it's going to collect in here, okay? Now, I'm crossing my body so that way, no matter where you strike, it's going to hit my sword, and it's going to eventually get down to my keons, right? So now, because of leverage purposes, your debole, which is weak, your sword is in my strong, right? So I have all the leverage. Go ahead and resist me as hard as you can. I have full control of you. I am the puppet master, right? Right. So you have no control over what I do here, okay? So if I utilize my crossbar, the keon, and just transition through posta di donna, see right now I'm opening you up already, and I'm using my crossbar up horizontal or up and down like this to push it, and I'm kind of with my reverso right ahead, okay? So going and get posta di donna again, I'll kind of show you nice and smoothly how this works. Come at me, collect, move aside, and hit. Okay? So let's try this from you. Go ahead and go into porta de ferro. Okay? And when I attack you, I want you to step backwards into finestra. Okay? And then transition to posta di donna on the right, and then do a reverso fendente over your head. You think you understand that? Okay, let's give it a shot. Ready? Collect. Good. Now, posta di donna to the other side. There you go. Perfect. Perfect. One more time. Ready? Good. And that's collection from finestra.
Thank you.
All right, so the next one is going to be an expel, okay? It's still a part of the collection series, but I call it an expel because you're expelling with force the other person's blade, okay? We're gonna accomplish that by moving. It doesn't really matter from posta di donna or from porta de ferro, but we're gonna move into posta frontale without a step. Just move into posta frontale and make sure that it's up over your head, because if I struck at you, I don't want to be able to hit you, okay? So, and you can also move your blade off, there you go, so that way even more, okay? So that's where you're stacking your defense, okay? So, to show you how this works, you just come at me from Postidona. Go into Postidona and come at me. Okay. So now I'm going to collect you in frontality. Okay. So just for purposes here, I'm going to try to collect you in your mezza spada. Okay. And I'm going to be offline just a little bit because I don't want your blade right on me, right? So I'm going to have it offline a little bit. So all I'm going to do is I'm going to transition. Well, let's go ahead and take it off for a second. Okay. I'm going to transition from here just into the boar's tooth by moving my sword, turning my edge on, because remember, you always have more advantage with an edge against your opponent's blade, right? So you turn your edge, and you're going to use force to come down with a back step into the boar's tooth. Make sure that blade is off to the left. That should cause his blade tip to hit the ground. You're already, and so he's going to be off of a guard, and hopefully he takes an extra tempo to have to recover while you're already in a position so you can already take that tempo and stab him. Okay? So let's see how that works. Go ahead and post it a donor for me. And attack me with a Mandrito Fendente. Bam. Okay? So now, but I'm going to come a little bit forward just to show you. Okay. So now I'm just going to transition into the boar's tooth from here just by taking a step backward and moving my, see how I'm moving my blade here? Well, let's put it on the shield so that way it doesn't. Okay, so I'm going to turn my blade so that way my edge is on your flat. Okay, that's what's going to give me more meat, what I like to call meat on your weapon. Okay, so I'm here. How much force that was? So now your blade should be in the ground, and I'm already in the boar's tooth, and I just come in with my strike. Right. One more time. From Postidona, I'm here. Bam, here. Pretty simple. Okay, let's give it a shot. So now, forward to the ferrule. It's taking nice and slow though, okay? So I'm going to come at you with Mandrito Fendente and just in frontale. Bam. Good. Now take a step backwards while moving your blade up against mine and move into the boar's tooth. Go ahead. Now come in for your thrust. Bam. Pretty cool, huh? All right, one more time. Ready?
Ready.
Good. You lost contact to the bottom of there, so let's do it one more time. Ready? There you go. Very good. And that is expelling.
Thank you.
All right, so the next one we're going to be talking about is pressures in the bind, okay? So the bind, of course, go ahead and post alonga, okay? This is in post alonga. Let's go and post alonga. There you go. So now, a bind is where we're both in a bind, all right? So nobody has an advantage, okay? When you're in the bind, there's 3 different types of pressures that you can give. You can have soft pressure. So if you were to push on my sword, I'm not giving you any pressure. That, right? Neutral pressure is going to give you some pressure. Nobody's going anywhere, right? So we're about even. Now hard pressure is, right, I'm pushing harder than you, keeping my point on line and knocking yours off, okay? That's a bad place to be, because sword fighting is about winning the center line. And if he wins the bind, this is what's called winning the bind. When your point is offline and mine's online, that's bad for you. But I'm going to show you some things that you can do to counter that, okay? So the first thing is there's different crossings as well. So in Fiore, in Gioco Largo, which is the wide place, the very first bind that he comes to is binding in the punta, so the punta spada, the tip of the sword, right? So you can get there in different ways, but however, let's just bring your sword up like in post longa, okay? So we ended up here, okay? So here, we're both in the weak. Nobody has anything, right? So nobody's gonna really win because it's weak. So Fiore says all you can do from here is just cut to the other side, okay? So what I interpret that means is just cut to the other side, and while keeping your sword on the outside, and you're cutting a reversal fendente straight to his head while defending yourself. Okay. So once again, if we somehow ended up here, we immediately cut to the other side while keeping your sword on my outside and cutting you. Okay. Fiore also says that you can come down with a thrust from there. So if we're here, go ahead, back in here again. You could, if you want, to feed into it, come into like Finestra or just like we did with the exchange of the thrust. But you gotta be fast with that one.
Gotcha.
Because he can regain the advantage fast as well. The next pressure, well, the next thing is going to be crossing the Mezzaspada, and this right here is where most of your sword fights are going to end up, right? So here, nobody has an advantage. We're both online, okay? If the opponent gives me weak pressure, okay? So now we're going to cover a few of the plays that Fiore has in the manuscript, okay? So if you don't give me much pressure at all, or if I won the bind, okay, so that brings your point to my left, and we're going to go and bring it up a little bit because we're in a bind, okay? So my point's on line, yours is off, all right? So from here, I can let go of my hand, grab your sword, pull off, and just hit you, okay? That's in the manuscript. That's the second play of Gioco Largo. Another thing that you could do is if we're crossed here, and you gave me weak pressure, okay, it's off, okay? So, and if I grab your sword and you go to parry it, so you go and move into post front to Finestra for me. So here, you gain the advantage now because my weak is in your strong,
Okay.
right? So going back into the regular. Okay, so if we're here and you find yourself trying to do that, go ahead. I'm gonna come and I'm gonna hit you in the knee. All right, I'm gonna make you miss that. I'm gonna break your knee and then I'm gonna hit you.
Gotcha.
All right. So that's what you can do with the weak pressure. Okay. So let's go back into the bind. Okay. Now for neutral pressure. Okay. So now neither of us, we're both online. Nobody's got any pressures. I'm going to create it by bringing my edge on yours, and I'm going to come in and give you a thrust. Okay. Once I have a connection of your weapon, I don't want to lose it. Because if I try to let go to come around or anything like that, now I don't know where your sword's going to be. You can come down and hit me down up here, come in for a thrust. So you never, once you have connection with your weapon, you really don't want to let go unless you can do so safely. Right here, you can't do so safely. So keep a hold of the weapon, give yourself in a position of advantage, maybe try to collect his weapon into your keons and try to create that advantage with a thrust or come down with a cut, okay? The next one is going to be hard pressures, okay? Now, I'm not covering everything, I'm just covering a few things that you can do, okay? The hard pressures, the first one you're going to do is simply go ahead and give me hard pressure. Come in with a pommel strike right to the face. Make sure keeping your sword on the outside, so if you try to come back, there's nothing you can do, okay? That's the first one. The second one, this is the one that I would rather you guys do. Go ahead and go here. Give me some hard pressure. I'm gonna grab control of your arm, and I'm gonna pummel you, and I'm gonna hit you. Actually, Fiore said that he knocked 4 teeth out of his opponent doing that. So that's kind of a cool little tidbit. So that's using the pommel strikes. You know, a lot of people when they're learning sword fighting don't know that you can use the pommel as a weapon. You really can. The next one is called the colpa di Viano, or the peasant strike. It's also referred to as the villager's cut. Basically, a villager back in medieval times didn't know how to sword fight. They were not trained, so when they got a sword, they thought it was just use it like a baseball bat. They're using their right hand to power it and just, which you could get some power from that. But this technique is to take that advantage, the power against them for it. It's a rather simple technique, but it's kind of involved, so we'll talk about it. So go ahead and post it to Dona, get ready to give me a big strike, okay? And Fiore says to get into a narrow stance, okay? That allows you to move aside much faster, okay? And it gives you a little extra time, okay? So now he's going to, when he starts to cut, he's going to step offline with like a forward strada, catch the blade in the middle of the action, and allow the blade to move aside, then come around with a strike. Okay, so nice and smooth, it would look like this. Okay, so do you have any questions on that? It's pretty simple. I explained it really fast, but you want to see it one more time before you try it?
One more time, I hope.
Okay, so you're coming with strong. I see that you're coming way back to wind up. Okay, so at that point, I'm going to come up here, or I'm just going to really get ready for a strong defense. Now, the stronger defense, of course, is from Porter to Pharaoh. Right? So I'm winding up into a narrow stance, and you're coming with that. I'm going to come defend myself, catching your blade. I'm not going to parry you. I'm just catching your blade to divert that energy. Okay? I'm just diverting that energy, and because you're coming with an extremely strong strike, you've got a lot of energy in that, right? So I'm going to let you keep that energy. I'm just diverting that energy. I don't want to rob your sword of any of that energy. I want you to have as much of it as you can. That's why. Go ahead and do it again. Okay? That's why when you're striking at me, I just want you to catch your sword and just divert it. I don't want to rob your sword of any of that energy. I want it to keep on going, so that way it gives me plenty of time to chop your head in half.
Gotcha.
All right? So, one more time, nice and slow. So you're here, move up here, catch while you're going offline to the left, catch the sword, let it go off naturally, and you come in with a reverso. Okay? So let's just have you go through the motions. Okay, so get into a narrow stance. Nope. Go ahead and get a regular stance first. Okay, your back foot moves. I mean, your front foot moves backwards. Your front foot moves backwards.
Sorry.
No, you're fine. You left foot forward. So now your your front foot is going to move backwards.
Gotcha.
That's what I meant. Okay, that's fine. Okay, so now you're in that narrow stance. Okay, now catch the sword while going offline. There you go. Okay, now from here, do that. Exactly. Okay, now let's do it with my sword in it. Ready? So I'm here. I'm going to wind up. You're going to get into your narrow stance. I'm going to strike. Good. One more time. Ready? So I'm here, winding up. Good. Good. And that is the culprit to be on it.